Hey, this is Darren with OnRPG. We're day one at PAX East over at the TERA booth. We have Associate Producer Stefan Ramirez here to give us a look at things coming up in TERA. So this weekend we're going into closed beta test 5. What changes have you made to the game since you started the closed beta testing?
Oh man, we've been making quite a bit of changes actually. So we've been increasing the level cap with pretty much every beta so far. In closed beta test 2, we introduced all of our players to open world PvP, opened up our first PvP server, but we've also been gaining a lot of good feedback from opening up the servers to thousands of players all at once, right? And we've been able to pinpoint and make some changes that have made the game better. But I would also say that our PvP foundation is basically built from what we've gained from our beta experience so far.
Awesome. Starting off with the beta, you guys had some technical problems. Froxter did too. What have you guys done to resolve these issues to make sure we don't have as many crashes?
I don't even know what you're talking about. Was there a crash? No, we did. And when you open up, you open your servers up to a massive amount of players, you really don't know until you get to that point. And luckily that's part of, experience the beta. But luckily we also got a chance to see how we could react. And our team did an excellent job of working with the developers over in Korea, and we brought those servers back up within an hour. I mean, it was lightning fast, and everything has been running really smooth. But that's also another thing we've learned a lot about, is how our servers handle load and performing. And they've been doing really well, so we're happy with where we're at. We're really feeling good going into beta 5.
Yeah, your community management is amazing. I mean, every time there's any hiccup, the Facebook is always blowing up, the Twitter is blowing up. You guys let us know what's happening. It's really awesome. So going into recently, you've opened up the PvP servers. What has been the reaction from the audience?
Oh man, well, from what we can tell, everybody's loving it. We had to create a new type of PvP because TERA's action combat really plays differently. And we knew that we had to do something unique to have an open world experience that would play well for everyone. So we created what we call the Outlaw system. Now, the Outlaw system will allow you on a PvP server to, after level 10, gain this skill that will enable you to attack anyone. Your name is read, and everyone knows that you're an outlaw. Now, if you decide not to enable yourself as an outlaw, you can still attack an outlaw, but you won't hit other players if you're just trying to, go about your business. Now, we've also noticed that people have been seeing those red names pop up, and they just fly to them. And one of the things we really wanted to do is create a community that governs itself. And we've been seeing that, and that's what we really wanted. We want to give you that content and not restrict you, but have players actually run it themselves. And so far we've enjoyed what we're seeing, and it's been pretty successful, I think.
Yeah, you guys you kind of separate yourself from the mold of most open world games where you don't have a set punishment for people to go red name and get killed. What's the design philosophy behind that?
Well, it's funny you mentioned that. We don't really have that big of a penalty. We did introduce it. That's one of the things that we started playing with during the betas, and we saw that certain things were happening. We're like, well, what can we do for that? So we've added this thing called infamy. What infamy does is if you go around and kill somebody that's like maybe 6 levels lower than you, you'll get tagged with a certain amount of points, infamy points. If let's say you're 10 levels or more, you're going to get a harsher hit on those infamy points. But what that does is it makes you stay red longer, because now you are an outlaw. You have been doing outlawish things, right? And the way you can reduce that is by not killing low-level players, but also by killing other monsters and creatures out in the PvE world. So that's a way that it'll reduce, and it also reduces over time. But so far, we've seen it working well, and we've also seen a lot of players. Like I said, they're helping each other out. The community is strong, and they're rallying to help these other guys out. So if you find yourself in that situation, you might want to try crying for help, but it seems to help.
So at GDC, we got our first look at the upcoming Nexus system. It's had some testing in Korea. Do you have any comment on this?
I do. We're excited about this. So the Nexus system is a dynamic event that's going to happen in persistent worlds. And it's going to give you that raid type, experience where it's a large, open, public quest that everybody's going to get to see. And you're going to take on those Argons, that great evil that everybody is rallying together to try and take on as a Valkyrian Federation. So you're going to be able to experience a public quest type system with tons of different people, and that's like this big raid encounter that you can't even anticipate. It's very dynamic, and we're really excited about it. See what's going to happen with that.
So it looks like you're releasing a new trailer that discusses some of the voice acting going on behind the storytelling in this game. Now that we're starting at a high level content, I imagine we're going to get to the real meat and potatoes of the storyline. So what is the real storyline going on in TERA?
Oh, I don't know. Can I give spoilers like that? We're so close to launch. Everybody's going to find out soon. To give you the overview on the story, we have a North American writing team, very talented group that has really created a great lore, great story and history for the game. Now, that story is deep. We have cutscenes that play along with it, And we also have some really beefy voice acting that we felt really gave it that punch. So I don't know if you guys are familiar with Battlestar Galactica at all, but Colonel Ty from Battlestar could be this guy Samael, who's kind of a jerk in a way, in TERA, and you'll get to see him as well. But we also have regular quests. We have a very strong story-driven quest system that'll take you all the way from 1 to 60 that just opens up to this great story and why you're there, what your journey, and you're going to experience it. It's really wonderful to play all of that together with everything else that's going on in the world.
Occasionally you guys have some really interesting quests, such as like defending an NPC on a bridge or like breaking into the enemy territory to learn about like what their plans are. What other types of like out of the norm quests do you have in mind?
Well, we haven't actually fully exposed those yet, but you're right. TERA's action combat's different. We have destructible objects. We even have platformy type elements that you'll encounter. But we did take a look at our questing, and we decided to create quests that complement the action in the game. And we're going to start rolling that out with open beta through launch. You'll start seeing some more diversity in that, and I don't want to give away too much yet, but we are tweaking our quests to kind of complement the game as well.
Now, you can't say that you guys don't listen to the community because you've announced you actually will be having a role-playing server. How did that come about?
Well, you hit the nail on the head. We have a very passionate community. There was a big outcry for an RP server. It's something that, you know, we're considering, and we just really, it's hard to tell how many people really want it, but our players are so passionate, they really wanted it, and you know what, we're like, you know what, we're gonna make that happen. We're gonna come through on that for them. So we decided to roll with an RP server and see how that goes. But overall, I think it's great to offer players more. And we have PvE, we have PvP, and then we have the role-playing server for all of those players that really want that experience.
So TERA is going into open beta on the 20th, correct?
That's right, April 20th.
What do you guys have, any last words to say about it before going into commercial launch?
Oh man, get your hands on TERA, play it, experience that action combat. And April 20th is a truly open beta. We'll be able to, there'll be all kinds of code giveaways and keys given away, so keep your eyes peeled. We're giving them away here at PAX East now. Another great thing is, we are not gonna wipe your character after open beta. You're gonna keep that character through launch. We've heard a lot of good things about that, so you're gonna keep that character, and then we launch on May 1st. So really excited, it's the home stretch, and we're hoping everybody comes on in, gives it a try, and checks it out.
Thank you for your time.
Yeah, no problem, thank you.